The 2025 Infiniti QX60 has a new trim level. And this is basically the luxe trim with some added features, and it's the Black Edition. And the Black Edition, of course, has some black additions to the vehicle, like the gloss black grille and the gloss black wheels, that kind of stuff. It also has a new color for 2025, which is the Harbor Gray, and that's what this one is, the Harbor Gray color, looking pretty cool. It also has a different engine. It also has a illuminated sill plates and illuminated badging here. This actually lights up at night, looking nice. Has the full 360 camera system, parking sensors across the front and back, and full LED taillights. So yeah, pretty good amount of features on the Black Edition, I think. So looking at the profile, you can see the black wheels, black cladding here on the side, also the privacy glass with the gloss black pillars there, kind of looking nice with the chrome around it. Also, there's chrome here on the handles as well, in addition to the body color. Combination of gloss black and matte black back here. You even have the little shark fin antenna up there. The roof rails are gloss black. You open lift gate with this little button right here. Here's the cargo area, and it has fairly limited space. Now you can make these third row seats recline a little bit, which limits your space a little bit more. So depending on what position you have these seats in, gives you a little bit more space potentially. There is a 12-volt power supply here, little bag holder that pops out on both sides here. There's tie downs as well. Under this floor, a little bit more space. This is really handy because it keeps things out of the way. And the spare tire is underneath the vehicle, and you can lower it by underneath this little cover right here. Pop that out and you can lower the spare tire. Now you notice it has these little places for dividers to fit in there. There's accessories you can buy for dividers. And there's also, behind this cover here, is the tools for the spare tire. I like the way this kind of lifts up and just kind of stays wherever you put it instead of having to flop back down on you. But when you push it down, it's not secure or anything. So whatever you put in here could potentially, lift this up and in an accident or something and come out. So this isn't like latching or secured or anything like that. Now you can add to your cargo space. You just have to flip down the headrest and fold the seat down. So it's fairly easy to go ahead and flop the seats down, add to your cargo space. And you can have a tremendous amount of space back here once you fold down seats, but you can also maintain some passenger space if you need it. The third row is fairly spacious back here. Now the seat isn't like that far off the floor, so your knees are gonna stick up in the air if you're a tall adult or whatever. And it has a cup holders here on this side. And then on that side, it's cup holders and a USB charge port. And then there is a single car seat attachment here on this right side. The rest of it does not have any car seat attachments. There's this little rubberized pad there in the center to kind of put some stuff, and also to keep people from sitting in the middle, apparently. For the size of the vehicle, I think the width of the third row is pretty decent. And especially considering they're not trying to wedge a third passenger in the middle. And these seats move forward like this in their fixed position, so if you happen to have a car seat in there, you could potentially move them out of the way to get to the third row. But you can just kind of push them back like so, and you can adjust the distance there in the front. The inside of the back doors, they have the shades that retract into the door, and they have pretty neat styling back here. Have the contrast stitching with the French design here, all soft touch here, here, and here, and a little bit of metallic accents there. And I like the way this metal kind of blends in right into the handle, looking nice. It has a really nice Bose sound system. There's one of the speakers there, and it sounds really good. The doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle, sealed up, keeping the threshold relatively clean. It has the illuminated sill plates, in addition to the illuminated emblem there in the front. In the second row, this one has the center seat, so you have additional passenger space there instead of a captain's chair. There is armrests with cup holders here. And the car seat attachments are on both sides and the center. Depending on your needs, you can attach those wherever you need to. The back of the seats, they have like a soft touch right here, and then a matte pockets there. Completely flat floor. Lots of space here for the center passengers. USB-C, USB-A charge ports, and then the climate control adjustments here as well. It's got a huge sunroof as well. Look at that soon. The inside of the front doors are very similar to the back. They didn't skimp on the stylings in the back. They have the soft touch surfaces here, stitching. This is enclosed. You can utilize that as a pocket. Even has a little rubber bottom so things don't rattle around. And then you have the hard touch surfaces here at the bottom with a larger pocket. Once again, illuminated sill plate, power seat with two-way lumbar adjustments here, leather seating surfaces, heated and ventilated seats as well. Check all the leg room here. Lots of room here in the front. Has this little storage compartment there, lock and glove compartment, and it's soft down here instead of the hard plastic. Then there's felt lined glove compartment. You have the more gloss black, layered dash here. Soft, everything here. Under the hood, we have seals across the back there, insulated firewall, and it's a turbocharged engine, and it's a variable compression turbocharged engine. Now the battery is over here, and it's insulated and easy to get to. It's a 2.0 liter four-cylinder engine. It puts out 268 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs. Now that's close to redline. So redline on this vehicle, 6,000 RPM. So you have to get the engine almost up to redline to get the maximum horsepower. And torque is 286 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. So that's a little bit better. So you don't have to rev it up quite so high to get that maximum torque. Now it's a turbocharged engine, direct injection, with the variable compression ratio. It's pretty interesting, and it's paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. With this engine, you do have to use premium fuel. It does have the blind spot detection system. It also has the ability to power fold the side mirrors. There's 2 presets here for the driver's seat. And the driver's seat one-ups the passenger by having a 4-way lumbar adjustment. That's about it. But yeah, these are pretty comfortable seats actually. Heated and cooled, looking nice as well. There's plenty of room here in the front. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall and I feel like I've got too much room really. I do have to pull up the seat a little bit to get comfortable. Now it has the power tilt telescoping steering column and a fairly comfortable steering wheel. Leather wrap, slight flatness on the bottom there. Good thickness. It just overall feels really good. Has the paddle shifters across the back. It has the regular buttons here, volume for the radio, change to the tracks. You have some functionality with the screen here instead of the gauges. It is gauges, but it's also a screen. And then here on the right side is the cruise control, voice recognition, and the adjustments there. You have different views that you can use here on the screen. So you can change the meter view to more of a dial, just a regular dial like this. Also, when you scroll left and right, you can see it's part of a menu system. So you can get different information that keeps there, that stays there in the center. So you can see the variable compression turbo. You can keep an eye out on what's going on with that. It's kind of interesting. And then you have your driver assist systems and all your settings here, which you can go through and customize the vehicle here. Infiniti has pretty much standardized their touch screen displays now. So you have the icons here at the bottom. You can also swipe through here on your home screen, get more information. And then you have information, audio, satellite radio. You can also change your source. AM, FM, satellite radio, USB 1, USB 2, Bluetooth audio, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. And then there's a separate button for these here. And then on the radio, you have your presets and everything. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward as far as using this system. Look at the navigation map here. You can make the navigation map larger by hitting that button, which is very handy because this little sidebar kind of gets in the way sometimes. You have a physical volume knob, and you can also seek through tracks and stuff like that. So you have additional buttons down here, redundant buttons, I guess you can say. And also you have the heated steering wheel. You have heated seats, heated and cooled seats here as well. And they're a 3-stage. The way these buttons work, they're kind of like soft touch buttons, but you have to press them and have this little vibration every time you press them. So you have to kind of push in hard. If you just kind of swipe your hand across here, it's not going to do anything. You actually have to do an intentional press on these buttons. Now you can adjust the temperature for the driver and passenger here, and all your different climate control functions are here as well. You can also adjust the rear climate if you need to. There is USB ports here for connecting with the system as well as charging your phone. There's a wireless charger which works really well with my phone case, which is kind of thick, so it charges every time. And it also has a very rubberized bottom, so my phone stays in place and it doesn't slide around, and it's kind of angled down as well, which isn't really the best for a weak signal. Like if you're in an area that doesn't have the best signal, it kind of tucks away your phone. But you know, for most areas fine, but it definitely charges, and that's the biggest thing about this. Some vehicles I put my phone on the charger, and when I get to my destination, it didn't even charge. The light came on and then it went off and I didn't notice, and then or starts flashing or whatever, and you know, and then I realized I didn't even charge my phone the whole time. So this one is reliably charging my phone every time. So there's the start button. Different drive modes which you can select. Has eco, auto, sport, and personal. Go all the way to the bottom is snow, kind of hidden there. So you can turn off the idle stop here. Electronic parking brake is here. You engage it by lifting it up. It has a little light there and engages the rear wheels. You do have the auto hold function as well. To disengage this, you hold the brake and push down on it. The shifter is kind of interesting. So right now it's in park, and you can put it in park by pressing that button. But basically it's electronic shift by wire type system. And you can see it has reverse, neutral, drive. So what you do is, let's go to reverse. So we lift up, push that button and lift up on it. Like so. You kind of have to go past a little bump there. And then that way your parking sensors will be active, but also you have the parking cameras here. The camera system is excellent. You get the front and back views, and just looks really good. You have the top down view and everything. All right, so let's go to put it in neutral. It's not like you just kind of slide it, right? It doesn't really work that way. You have to kind of press it in the middle position, hold it there for just a brief second, then it'll put it in neutral. So let's go ahead and put it back in drive. And then when we turn on the camera here, you can see the front view instead of the back view on the camera system. Once again, excellent camera system. All right, so at any time you can always push it back in park. But it does have a manual mode that you can use with the paddle shifters here. So when you're in drive, you can pull it down again, it'll go down into manual. All right, so you can make selections here on this in addition to the touchscreen. So you can hit audio, so you can hit audio, it pops up there. And then you have the menu button, which is the main one. And then your map voice, you can turn that on or off very quickly, that's nice. Camera, and then you have a back button, and then you have this dial, and then make selections, up, down, and all that stuff. And you can make selections going up and down, and you press in for OK. So right now we're on the home screen, and you can see the little icons there. As I move the dial, it goes through and makes different selections here, and then you can press on the one that you want. So it makes it a little bit easier to navigate if you don't want to lean forward, and also it's kind of up there a little ways. So if you want to make a quick selection or have something at the ready, and then you can make the selection here, it could be very convenient for that. Cup holders are here, and it has a little rubberized. I really like it's a little tiny thing that I kind of focus on, probably a little bit too much. Is the little rubberized surfaces on the bottom of pockets. Like this one, you can take it out, clean it, put it back in. But this has these little textures right here, and they do a really good job of keeping things sliding around. Because when I'm driving, if there's something in a pocket, in a compartment or something like that, and I'm driving, and every time I turn, it's like sliding back and forth, and it's on a smooth surface and rattling and making a bunch of noise. It's really annoying. I actually had a situation where I put my phone on the wireless charger, and it's sliding all over the place because the surface wasn't rubberized enough. So this one, is actually excellent as far as the rubberized texture. It's like really good, even in the doors and the pockets here and the cell phone charger. So yeah, really happy with that. The armrest is kind of rubbery soft, not like a pillow. It's like a little rubbery feeling. And then it has the stitching there, and you press that. I like the way it's kind of seamless in a way. It's there's no bump, it just kind of waves up. Press that button, and it's kind of spring loaded, so it doesn't like flat back down on you, and it kind of slowly lifts up. Kind of neat touch there. And then there's these little pillar shelf areas, 12-volt power supply, and then a felt lining. The entire compartment's felt lining. I got my business cards in the way. There's this little drop pocket in there. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of drops down in there. So, not sure what that is for. But, kind of goes all the way across there. It's hard to see because of the felt lining is all black. But yeah, pretty interesting design. There's a little clip here, place to put a pin or a tire gauge, that kind of thing. And there is actually places for wires to go in and out of the compartment. They're right here on the side. So you can see right there. I'm gonna open it up. You can see a little dimple on that side, on this side. So if you need the wire to go in and out of this compartment, you can, you know, put it through there without getting pinched. It has an auto dim rearview mirror. It has a HomeLink garage door opener controls here on the bottom. So up here we have a place to put your shades, and it's kind of rubbery soft in there. And yeah, it's kind of like this rubber insert that's in there. And then you have these, all the interior lights you could turn on with this button, or you can have individual reading lights here and here. This is roadside assistance. You have this little ambient light that shines at night down in the center of the center console area. And then you have the, you know, the shade and the sunroof buttons. We'll get to that in a second. The visor has a little clip right here, has a mirror with lights. It does extend out and does a pretty good job there on the side. But yeah, the headliner is the same black as the visor basically. So this one has a panoramic sunroof and the shade covers 100% of the light. So we can move the shade back. Press it again, it goes more. And we can tilt up the glass or move it back. So there's moving it back there. Press it again. All right, as far back as it goes. All right, let's tilt it up, pressing it in. Press it in again, or move it forward, that's how you close it. Now we can close the shade. So it has a separate button for the shade. Press it again to go all the way forward. Looking at the visibility back here, it's not too bad. I mean, it has a lot of headrest to get in the way, and it has those pillars between the headrests, and then you have the shades there and the privacy glass. I would say that this vehicle could use a rear view camera, because especially if you have all these passengers back there, instead of this rear view mirror, just a mirror, it could have the rear view camera here. That would help out. Now it has the camera system down here, and it has the parking sensors, and it has the backup camera and all that stuff. But the rear view camera really has got me spoiled. I think most people would benefit from this, and also especially a third row vehicle when you have a bunch of passengers and cargo back there. Having a rear view camera while you're driving is excellent. I like the active guidelines on the camera system over here, and they give you a estimated trajectory of the vehicle front or back, and they seem very accurate as far as the width of the vehicle. So we had the front view here, same thing. We had that camera system that's able to see right where you're at and where you're going. So you have a little bit of engine noise, and the engine noise is a little bit out of place for this type of vehicle. For the price and the just type of, you know, it's supposed to be a little bit higher end, it's supposed to be smooth, quiet, comfortable, and having that little bit of engine noise kind of breaks away from that experience. So and it seems like it's very well insulated, the firewall and all that stuff, and everything feels solid. So I guess it's just a noisier engine. It's not really the lack of insulation or something. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's that. I don't know if it's the variable compression part or what it is, but you can hear it when you start revving the engine. You can hear it, you know. So it might not be a big deal to you, but just something to consider. Now, one thing that is a big deal for me as far as driving this vehicle. The only thing about it that is not good, that just kind of makes me turn it off, which you can turn off, is the steering assist system. The steering assist system is all over the place and beeps at you, and it basically fights with you with the steering wheel and then beeps at you because it forces you to go into the line, and it's like nonstop doing that while you're driving. So unless you're on a super straight highway, then it works fairly well. But if you're on any kind of back road or roads that they're relatively narrow or they're twisty or whatever, then yeah, I just turn it off because it just becomes so annoying. And that's common with a lot of new vehicles. The lane keeping assist or the steering assist system or lane tracing, whatever you want to call it, it is problematic on some vehicles. So, it's easily turned off, and it's very easy to drive the vehicle without it, so it's not like you really need it. The adaptive cruise control works great. And, so everything else, just the overall driving experience is pleasurable other than that. It's comfortable, and you have lots of room, and you feel you have enough power, no problem. And also the braking is good. I was pretty impressed with the braking. It has 4-wheel disc brakes with the ventilated rotors, and it just feels very, very solid. So if you have your family and you have a bunch of people in here, and a lot of cargo or whatever, you're going to have plenty of braking power, so even if you have extra people in the vehicle, it helps out having that strong braking system. So when you accelerate, keeping the RPMs, under 5,000 really is where it's most impressive. Because once you start getting, really it red lines at 6 anyway. So, but the problem is that the best horsepower, the highest horsepower peaks right close to 6. So it's really about the torque. 4,500 RPMs is about where the maximum torque is, and that's where it really comes to life with that variable compression engine. And I mean, it's not like a huge difference. You're not going to experience some weird different. If you just drive this vehicle, you're not necessarily going to know that it's a variable compression. It's just able to give you peak, a little bit higher torque, and then slightly better fuel economy is all what it's achieving using that technology. So it's not like it's something you have to compensate for or be aware of really. But it is, I think it's interesting, the technology, the variable compression, the way it works, and the design and everything. But yeah, it has plenty of power and gets decent fuel economy as well, especially for a vehicle this size and the third row and all that stuff, and the torque that you have. So in the past 150 miles, I've averaged 23 miles per gallon. So part of that is skewed a little bit because when I'm filming it inside the vehicle and stuff, I'm not driving and then the engine's running, so that might skew it a little bit. But yeah, it's on the lower end of what is estimated. So is what I'm getting.